Okay.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to get us out of here. And I'm going to bring us to this PowerPoint. And I have the copy of the PowerPoint right here. So if it's easier for you to read there than here, that's totally fine. Either way that's best for you is what I'm looking for. So making inferences is like being a reading detective. Okay? And it can be used not only as a reader of a book, but as a writer of your own books, your own works, okay? So good readers are like detectives. They fill in what is not being said by using schema, which is their background knowledge, and text clues. So whatever you know about a subject or a topic is going to help you find clues within a text to know what you're doing. How do they do it? They use written and visual clues and their background knowledge or schema to make meaning of what the text is saying. They use what a character says and what the character does to understand that character. Just like if you're watching a movie, you're looking for what they say to figure out what they're going to do next. So, forming the ideas are like combining your background knowledge, like I said, there's the schema, and what the author tells you or shows you. That's what inferencing is. So this is another definition of inferencing that might be easier for you to understand versus the dictionary's definition. It's totally how you can understand it and perceive the terminology that they use, whether it be in a dictionary form or whether it's in this form. And these next few slides give you some examples of sentence starters so that you know how to find those clues within a text, or you may want to use those sentence starters within your own writings. So those are in here as well for you to take home today. We're not going to go over them. I just wanted you to know that they are there for your information. And they're in this form as well, if it's easier for you to use them in a chart like this. Or like this. They did them 3 different ways to help all different styles of learning within this PowerPoint that I found. Now, we're going to move on to these scenarios, okay? We're going to do these scenarios together. And then I'm going to give you each a scenario to do by yourself. Okay? So, the first one, let's see. B, would you read that scenario right there?
She whipped back her umbrella and rain boots before leaving for school this morning.
So, A, what do you think is going to happen?
It's gonna rain.
It's going to rain. And what key words in this little scenario led you to believe that?
She packs her umbrella and rain boots.
Okay, cool. A, would you read that scenario?
Frank shoved his math test to the bottom of his backpack and decided to take the long way home.
Oh dear. B, what do you think's happening in this scenario?
I think he got a bad score on his math test.
Oh man, and what in the text led you to believe that?
He stuffed the paper at the bottom of his backpack and took the long way home.
Sounds like a plan to me. Okay, let's do one more. I'll read this one. Lying in bed, wearing her warm and fuzzy PJs, Sue could barely sleep. She was so excited for the morning. Turn and talk to one another and figure out together what you think might be happening in this scenario.
Something laughing exciting the next day. Or like a birthday or Christmas or something.
And discuss what you think in the text led you to believe that. What makes you think
She
those
was
things?
so excited for the next morning, and she could barely sleep.
Good job, you guys. I think you've got this. Okay. So I'm going to close this and move this out of our way. And let us find our scenarios that I want you to do by yourself. So I'm going to go through each stack here because this PowerPoint's pretty long. There's 13 pages to it. And you're going to do scenario 1. And I'm going to have you do scenario 2. Okay? So read the scenes. Use the scratch paper that I gave you to answer the question at the bottom. Just going to do this one for right now, okay? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read scene 1. Your neighbor invites you over for dinner. When you arrive, you notice garbage on the floor, dust on the cabinets and shelves, as well as dirty dishes in the sink. B. What conclusion can you draw about your neighbors?
That your neighbors don't clean as often as you might like them to.
And A. What did you come up with?
They don't really clean that often.
Wow. Hey, I'm going to read scenario 2. You're walking home from school when all of a sudden you hear sirens coming in your direction. Cops, fire trucks, and an ambulance speed right past you. A. What conclusions can you draw about this scenario?
That he's scared and wants to know what's happening and where they're going.
And B. What conclusions did you draw from this text?
I think there was an accident somewhere that they're trying to get to.
Okay. That was pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to read one more. This one you don't have to write. You're going to turn to one another and talk about what you think might happen. Okay, so Miss G returns to class the day after being absent. She walks over to her desk and picks up the note from the substitute. All of a sudden, Miss G's face gets red as a lobster. What conclusion can you draw about this scenario?
I think that the substitute is mad that she was gone the day before, or that they were better than what they are when she's there.
You don't think that possibly the students could have not acted correctly for the substitute? Don't substitutes usually leave notes when the kids have not done what they're supposed to, or do they leave notes when the kids have done what they're supposed to? What? So what clues from this text will lead you to think that way?
Her face gets red as a lobster.
Okay. What does she find on the desk?
A note and no.
Okay. And you guys just said that usually substitutes leave notes when?
They're mad. Or the student did something wrong.
The students have not done what they're supposed to do in class. Okay. So that's how we draw clues from the text, is by picking up on those key phrases. So note on the desk, face as red as a lobster. Okay? You guys are doing so awesome! Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to read this book. And I'm going to stop where I have this page in my book. And we are going to talk about what you think who you think the narrator is in this story. Who do you think is doing the talking and telling this little mouse what to do? And this is called The Little Mouse, The Red Ripe Strawberry, and The Big Hungry Bear. Have you guys heard that story before?
No.
No. Okay. Hello, little mouse. What are you doing? Oh, I see. Are you going to pick that red, ripe strawberry? But little mouse, haven't you heard about the big hungry bear? Uh-oh. Fumble fingers here. Oh, how that bear loves red, ripe strawberries. The big hungry bear can smell a red, ripe strawberry a mile away. Especially one that has just been picked. Boom, boom, boom. The bear will tromp through the forest on his big, hungry feet and find the strawberry. No matter where it's hidden, or who is guarding it, or how it's disguised. Quick! There's only one way in the whole wide world to save a red, ripe strawberry from the big, hungry bear. Who do you think is doing the talking in the story, and why?
The bear, maybe?
Why?
Because he's telling the mouse not to pick his strawberry. All the rest. Because he's telling the mouse not to pick the right strawberry.
Okay. A?
The bear.
You think it's the bear? Why?
Because he doesn't want him to get the strawberry because he wants all the right strawberries.
Okay, let's find out. Let's see if the rest of the story will lead us to that final conclusion. Cut it in two. Share half with me. And we'll both eat it all up. Yum! The end. Do you think your conclusion was substantiated by the ending? Do you still think it was the bear?
Yes.
You do. Or are there any other clues within this book that might lead you to that conclusion? Look through the book here with the both of you. See if there's any clues that you can come up with that help you with substantiating the fact that you think it's the bear doing the talking.
Share half with me and we'll both eat it all up.
Is that all? Is there anything else in the text that tells you that you think it's the bear? A, are you finding anything else? B? I'll share with you what resonates with me. Because I'm with you. I think it's the bear also. How he describes how he walks. Boom, boom, boom. How he can smell a strawberry from a mile away. How he can tromp through the forest. Hello, little mouse. Who else would know that it was a little mouse other than a bear? If it was another mouse, would he think that it was little? Be hello mouse, wouldn't it? And we know that bears like berries, correct? They love all kinds of berries. Blackberries, blueberries, strawberries. And he's warning him. He's giving him the warning. Don't you know about the big hungry bear? And the mouse has that surprised look on his face. So do you suppose the mouse doesn't even know what a bear looks like? Doesn't tell us, does it? But there's these little subtle clues in there. And oh, the word oh, how the bear loves. So there's emphasis there that he really loves strawberries. And there's that smell it a mile away. Who else can smell a strawberry a mile away? Not me, but I know that a bear can. That's how I use my schema, my background knowledge on a subject. Okay? So those are the key pages that I found within this text that helped me make an inference as to who the narrator was. The bear. The big, hungry bear. You guys did absolutely amazing. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you think that you could use this information in another setting?
Yes.
Do you think you could use it in your writing to give your readers clues as to what you're talking about? Have you ever done anything like that in your writing? Were you given your reader clues? No. Have you read any books recently that you can make those kinds of inferencing predictions in the story? What have you read? Witchcatcher, okay. How about you, B? Nothing yet? You don't read mysteries? Anything that's mysterious that you have to find clues? No? Okay. You will soon enough, I'm sure. Thank you both very much. Okay, I appreciate this. And I have a little something for you if it's okay with Mama.